right now we're talking about all of the big transfers, the money Arsenal spending, and the haters are talking about the money Arsenal are spending and everything like that. And obviously we've just gone past June 30th at the time of recording, July 2nd. The free agents have flooded the market. They've left their clubs, they've cleaned their lockers, they've waved goodbye to their Oga, and they're out here in Dalston and them places looking to be signed. They're in the market now. Just need to negotiate contracts, and they're big signing on bonuses as they usually do. And yeah, they can enter any club they want to. So what we wanted to do is look at some of the, maybe not necessarily the best free agents Arsenal could sign this summer, but people that, you know, could be a fit. Now, granted, some players that would have been on this list or were free agents have been signed by other clubs at this point, but I think it's always worth a conversation to see who is still out there, who we could have signed from this potential list. So I don't know, do you want to get us started with one of yours and we'll just go one each, free for free, one each?
Yeah, like, you know what, I think this one's going to be a bit out of left field because it's someone we've been linked with before, but I think he'll just be another tidy, like just someone you could, you know, probably get on decent wages, obviously no transfer fee, and his name's Moussa Dembele, bro. I've been a massive fan of him over the years. He's only still 26. I think he matches the age profile. Of course, again, you know, you got that League One tax. You know, we don't know what the transfer rate is for League One goals to Premier League goals, but I think he's got pace about him. From when I've seen him, he's a good finisher, tidy with his feet, and yeah, I think it's just another like more European pedigree up top. You know what I mean? Like someone who I think he's capped up for France as well. You know, good age. I just think he'll be able to fit in. I think, you know, he'd be a good rotation option. Like, I guess he's not, you know, that different to Jesus in the sense of like, you know, his body type and the type of play he'd be able to do. But it doesn't seem like, as of for now, we're trying to go down that route. So if we want to get someone else who we think could bring a bit more quality, I think we could snap him up. I think he'd be a great option.
Yeah, he has been a long-term, you know, flirt with the club sort of thing that Arsenal be looking to sign him and stuff like that. And I mean, he's been around the block a bit, hasn't he? He went to Celtic, Lyon.
Yeah.
Did he go on loan to Fulham or Aston Villa or someone like that?
I want to say Aston Villa because they've always got like a Traore or Dembele like floating around. You know what I mean? They've always got one of them kind of names floating up there. So
was he at Fulham before he blew and then got?
He was definitely at Fulham before.
Okay, maybe that's what it was. So yeah, like he's been around the block. I'm sure maybe he's late 20s. I don't think he's much older than that, is he?
26. So he's going to be 27 in 10 days.
Wow. Okay. So he's really in like the prime of his career. I mean, as I saw his name as we kind of prepared to do this, I saw his name and I thought, yes, because for all the reasons you said, really, stylistically, does he fit what Arsenal are trying to do? And that's the one reason I thought, you know, if I put my Arteta hat on, I'm not sure if they would go for him. Like, is he much more of an advance on Nketiah and Balogun to, you know, really make a difference as another option? I don't know.
I mean, I wouldn't say so. I mean, you have to look into his output in the last couple of seasons, but it just felt like, I think because I've always liked the player, I've always felt that he might be someone who'd be able to come over and translate, you know, once he'd have a bit of time under his belt. So it just looked like one of those options where I think if what I was projecting happened, I think he would be better than Nketiah and Balogun in terms of his overall play and things like that. I mean, it's a bit different for a striker. I mean, again, him dropping in, I'm not sure he's more of like a striker, but he can, like before, he was like a 9.5 before from what I remember seeing. But I think he's kind of falling into the 9 category now. But he's got the pace that we're looking for. And I think he's a bit different because I think he likes to go in behind as well. So, you know, Jesus is more like dropping into DM every now and then. So, you know, it's good sometimes when you've just got a striker who wants to score goals, or like his primary focus is like, I'm in this box, like I'm chilling here. This is my domain. So yeah, that's where my thinking's at.
Okay. I see your Moussa Dembele, and I raise you Marcus Thuram.
Okay.
Now I know Marcus Thuram has signed for Inter Milan at this point. I expect him to do damage there. I saw bits and glimpses of him in the German league, not much, and obviously we see him more like playing for France, and even that is usually in a off the bench capacity. My thinking behind Marcus Thuram, big boy, big striker, physically there in terms of presence, can play with his feet as well, can play out wide as well. He just stinks of Arteta, and Arteta's signings and what Arteta's been trying to do. Again, admittedly, his numbers seem all right, like nothing mind-blowing, and especially on a France front, to get into that French team and as in a forward position is always techie. Over the years, forever, that has always been one of those hard places that not one man can commandeer. You can go to all these different Euros and World Cups, and it'll be a different front three or whatever every time. So he's doing well right now career-wise. Obviously, the Inter move I think is a good move for him. Definitely. Obviously there's some stigma in the German league and stuff like that. So Inter, I guess, is more. The Italian league's more revered than the German league, so to speak. But yeah, I think Marcus Thuram could have been a very good free agent signing for Arsenal.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, like you said, I think he's kind of got it all in terms of the profile of player, the size, the flexibility. It just, like you said, I'm not sure what foot he is, but not that it really matters. I think he could definitely play across the front three. I don't think that would be any issue to him. And it's kind of like one of those things where, I don't know, maybe because we felt maybe assured, and obviously we snapped up Reece. Well, it looks like we're snapping up Reece Nelson. But yeah, maybe it was just like adding another one would kind of maybe eat into other people's minutes. Obviously, you got Havertz with the flexibility, and still got to think of Smith Rowe. So, but he is definitely someone who you think, you could slot him in and he'd fit like a glove. Yeah,
it would have been someone that I would have been very intrigued if we got on a free transfer, especially. I would be like, cool, that's a good signing at the very least. Like, we can't go wrong. We could sell him if we went tits up.
Simple.
Who have you got next?
Well, so I've gone for a bit of a weird one, because what I've tried to do is I've tried to go for the players who actually still don't have a contract signed. So I'll say quickly, the first one I thought of, obviously we know that he's going to PSG, was Asensio. I think he would have been another good option who could rotate in. But in terms of players, and again, I'm being a bit out there, you might look at me a bit sideways, Ross Barkley. Now, let me explain.
Okay, come on.
Let me explain. Now, I think he, again, maybe I'm thinking of yesteryear Ross Barkley at Everton, and when he maybe first went to Chelsea. I can't say I've watched much of him now, but I looked at him and I was just like, he could be a pretty decent left eight, in my opinion. I think he's got the technical ability. Again, he's 28 or 29 from when I last checked. So he's obviously of like an older, he's not like the current majority age profile. Maybe it's kind of like for like with Xhaka, but I think he's got the physicality. He played midfield before. Obviously, I think he was more of a 10 at Everton, and I think he went to play like an attacking role, attacking 8-10 at Chelsea. I think he could absolutely ruin that left eight for us in a good way. I think he could be up and down. He's got the attacking ability. He'd be able to get back. He's a big boy. I think he's got to be over 6 foot at least. I think he could add at least just a calm rotation option. I'm not saying he can go in there and start, but I think you'd have someone like him who you know has got technical quality, who, for some odd reason, I think the move to Chelsea just absolutely just tanked his career, unfortunately. But in terms of his ability on the ball and his running ability, when he's moving with the ball, like there was a point where we were linked with him, yesteryear. Obviously, we didn't, act on it because I think Everton were asking for big money, which I think he was worth at the time. And he was like, what position does he play? Is he a 10? Is he a this? Is he a that? But I think you could slap him in left eight for some rotation games, seeing out games, and I think he would do a great job. So it's a bit of a weird one. Some people might look at me and be like, it's a bit of a miss ball, but I think he could do that role really well. Maybe left or even right, but I think left 8. I think the way we play, I think he's got the technical ability to do the short passes. I don't think there's anything that's made me think he couldn't ping a ball across the play, and he's got good finishing ability.
I don't hate it. As a rotation option, you're right. It could work. I even saw Aaron Ramsey's name, and I thought, age. The only thing is age.
Yeah,
that one age is against him. Injuries have obviously always been a thing throughout his career. So it wouldn't work. But if I was ready to consider Ramsey, maybe that was just nostalgia tax. But
it's definitely nostalgia tax.
But Ross Barkley, it's more. It's one in the same, innit? It's one in the same sort of thing. Yeah. So I hear it. With you're talking about coming out of left field, so I've got a left field kind of one as well.
Okay.
This was on the basis that we sold Kieran Tierney.
Okay.
Daley Blind.
You're gonna have to land this one for me.
Now, I listen. Daley Blind for me, even at his days in United, before that Ajax, obviously he's returned to Ajax. Like, this guy can play football.
Yeah,
he's a very good, clean baller. Now, what would work totally against him in the Premier League nowadays is the speed and all of that kind of stuff. And obviously, he's very far on in his career. He might be like mid-30s or approaching mid-30s. So, this will definitely be a backup option. Just so obviously we're clearly on this inverting thing. This could be someone that could play like that sort of thing if Zinchenko was out. And just be tidy. Admittedly, I ain't seen him do a lot of like club football wise. I don't know. He played in the World Cup for Holland, so he's still getting picked for Holland. So there must be some level of something there. So Daley Blind, just as a nice little calm rotation option, experienced head. We like to kind of have these leaders as well. So
okay. I hear it. I hear it in that sense. I'm tempted to search his age quickly because I think, like you said, the pace of the game will just ruin him. Like, I think he's the kind of person, but then again, maybe not. You look at people like Jorginho, who, once you turn him around, it's over, but once he's facing forward, the quality's still there. And these kind of players that never really had much pace to go on in the first place always tend to be able to, show their skills even better than those who had maybe more physical gifts on the pitch. So I wouldn't say I'm mad at it. What would you say? Wait, so what, left back or centre back or
left back? Literally just as Zinchenko. Just like Zinchenko. Left invertings. He's 33.
33. Okay.
So 1 year deal. Like if this is on the basis Tierney was leaving, if Tierney was leaving and we needed someone there, unless you just use Tomiyasu there, then fine. But that was my left field choice.
Okay, cool.
Have you got one more quick choice?
I've got one more quick choice. It's not a surprise. It's Wilfried Zaha.
That was mine as well.
Well, let's talk about him. Let's talk about him. It's very straightforward. He's a great. He's been one of the, you could say he's up there with best Prem wingers. Great consistency. Maybe except just the last season. But great consistency throughout. He's not like a prolific goal scorer, but just in terms of one-on-one, beating your man, getting to the byline, drawing defenders over. There's not many, if any, that do it better than him. Obviously questions around attitude and stuff like that, but I think that's just, you could fall either way. When you're being kicked every week, you're either going to try and see it with a sense of grace, or you're going to want to swing every man, and he's fallen in the latter camp. So, it is what it is, but I think he'd just be a great rotation option. He's like an experienced head now. Again, would he have wanted to come and be like a rotation option, play behind Saka or play behind Martinelli? Would he take too many minutes away from them? Again, we spoke about it last week about having guys on the bench who are, have crazy value behind them. Like we spoke about potentially Ben White being on the bench 50 mil. Having someone like Zaha, who was like, a vice captain at the very least, at maybe Crystal Palace's top goal scorer, I don't know, but I'm sure he's up there for some sort of accolade for them. So having someone like him who could come off the bench, could you imagine, you need a goal, 20 minutes left, you bring Zaha off the bench, think it's a bit of a no-brainer. Probably the price point wasn't great, and the age profile, you know, it's kind of in line with one of those Ozil or Aubameyang, Lacazette type, you know, doesn't fit. But I think it's something that, you know, if the money was right, I'd give it a go, you know, knowing that we're just going to invest in him for maybe 2-3 seasons, and you know, maybe you just get him off the wage book after. But yeah.
I think you've said it all really. Zaha is just a bit of a no-brainer. I think with Arsenal though, we've do we need him at the cost he's going to come? Yes, it's a free transfer, but we're looking at probably about 200 grand in wages for him to come. The only other thing I question is with his new venture with Stormzy, AFC Croydon, whatever they're called. Does the Croydon boy now come to North London, or does he want to really, you know, put a footprint in Croydon by staying in Crystal Palace, if you see what I mean?
That's true.
So